Hey guys, Brad Carney here once again with another Rack tutorial. This one is going to be on the basics of Racked, and my hope is that by the end of this, you should be able to just do a lot of the basic things like create walls and floors and add monsters and that sort of thing. So you should be able to create your own little rooms here by the end of this. Probably won't be able to do anything advanced, but this is all that stuff will come later. Okay, so let's get started by double clicking Rack there. Now, if you saw the previous tutorial, and not that I expect anyone to watch these in order, can't really assume that, but you should have your basics all set up. So while this is loading, I get a lot of questions on how racked mapping works. Is it brush based? Is it sector based? It's really what I like to consider face based. If I just create a little room here, and you'll know how to do this by the end of this tutorial. Let's see here. I need to do my controls here real quick because these are the defaults, and I don't like those. And this is actually pretty important too. If you ever want to tweak your controls, you just go to Settings, General Settings, Controls, and then you can set your sensitivity and all that sort of fun stuff right there. Let's see here. And I'm going to change one more thing because I'm weird. Oops, I lied. Two more things. There we go. Okay. So as you can see, we're not really putting down brushes or sectors or anything like that. We're really just putting down individual faces. Here, I'm going to put down just the floor here, just so you can see what I mean. So it's like we're just kind of putting down one surface at a time. See, as you see, there's nothing under it. And I kind of like this approach because you're really only putting down the things that you want, and you don't have to run some kind of hidden surface removal tool afterwards to get rid of the things you didn't want in the first place. So I think this is a much more intuitive approach, and after having made several dozen maps in this, I think it works out quite well. I'm going to give this some textures. Just one moment. Okay, so at this point, while this is loading, I wanted to kind of explain just kind of how stuff works in general in this editor. Basically, the way you do stuff in this, it's very similar to how things work in Windows. For instance, if I just go here to my desktop, if I want to select something, I left-click. If I want to look at the properties of something, I right-click. If I want to select two things, I hold Control and click multiple things. If I want to select multiple things at once, I click and drag, and everything in this little box that I make is going to be selected. And Racked really works the same way. If I want to select this face, I can left-click on it. If I want to look at its properties, I right-click on it. If I want to create a new thing, going back to my desktop real quick, if I want to make like a new folder or something, I right-click and I can make a new folder. And Rack the same way. If I want to make something new, let's go into thing mode by hitting T. I right-click, and then something new is created. And if I select it or highlight it, and then I right-click, then it goes into the properties. So it really, a lot of the way Racked works comes from the way things just kind of work in Windows in general. So now, in this, now you might have noticed I went into a different mode to work with the things. Racked has a lot of different modes that you can work in, and you can go to those either through hotkeys or the toolbar or through the menu. And I'm just going to go through the menu here so that you can see what they all are. First, you have vertex mode, and this lets you edit the individual vertices of a face. So if I go into vertex mode by hitting V or selecting it in the menu, and then I click a face in the 3D view, I can go over here and edit and manipulate the vertices on one of the 2D windows. So that's kind of the gist of how that works. Edit lines mode. It's basically the same thing as vertex edit mode, except you can edit two vertices at the same time, essentially. So basically, you select the face in the 3D view, and then you just come over here to the one of the 2D views, and you kind of drag it around here. So it's kind of like a more advanced vertex mode. Create face mode is C, and that's well, let's hear. Just real quick, there's two face modes. There is create face and there's edit face. Create face, you can create a face in either mode, but the problem is that like you remember going back, if you want to create something new, you right click. So in face creation mode, basically like, okay, let's say I have this room here and I want to create like a new floor under it. If I'm in face mode, I can't right click to create a new face because I'm already highlighting something. So that doesn't work. So basically what you do is you go into face creation mode and then nothing will highlight here. And then you can right click and then start creating your face. We'll go into how to create a face using this little method here in a little bit. But going back to the modes, edit face mode, that allows you to actually highlight the faces, and then you can right click and you can change their texture, you can change how big they are, you can change their offset. What's kind of nice is that you can move this window out of the way, and everything you do here is going to update in real time in the actual 3D view window. So if I want to play with these properties here, it's like everything shows up. So I can, whoops, I didn't mean to hit enter. So basically everything I'm doing here, I can see how it's going to be affected, how the face that I'm currently editing is going to be affected. So that's pretty nice. And then prism mode, it's kind of like a room creation tool or like a box creation tool, but basically it's the same kind of thing as face creation mode. It's a little more advanced. It lets you do some things fairly quickly. We'll go into that a little more later. Zones are an episode 2 feature, which I'm not going to get into right now. We'll talk about that much later. And then edit groups. Groups allow you to basically group faces together, and then like you can just select them all at the same time, highlight them all at the same time, select them all at the same time, which just kind of makes things really simple for working with groups of faces. Every time you make a prism, that's automatically going to be grouped. So you can see here, like I made a prism initially, so you can see the purple outline here, and then I just made another one here. So those are the two groups that I have. And then things. Things are those are your player starts and your monsters and shells and that kind of thing. Like just to kind of give you an example, let's put a crawler here. There he is. So that kind of summarizes like all the different modes that WrackEd has. Now why don't we actually get to actually making some stuff? So I'm going to go into face mode, and I'm gonna do my little multi-select thing, which of course we're all familiar with because we all have Windows, right? Probably not these days, which is very sad. Okay, so let's see here. First of all, let's keep things basic. First let's just make like a little floor. So now let's go into face creation mode. I'm so used to using the hotkeys, but you guys probably can't see me doing that. So basically, we're going to now. If we remember before, the way we create new things is generally to right click. So let's say I want a little floor here. So I'm going to right click here, and then that gives me this little thing here. This basically shows me where to plot the next vertex on the floor. So I'm going to left click to do that, and then I'm going to left click here. So you can kind of see like I have an outline for my floor here. and then to complete it, I just click where the original vertex is, and poof, I have a floor. Now the thing is that faces are one-sided. Like if I fly under here, and I look up, see you're not gonna see it, but if I fly back up, you can see it. So let's and the way it faces depends on which way you which way you make the face, whether I make it clockwise or counterclockwise. Basically, whenever you make something clockwise in the top-down view, it's going to point up, and if you make it counterclockwise, it's going to point down. So let's say I did this wrong, and I tried to make a floor, and I went counterclockwise. So I'm doing it this way. See, now it's facing downwards, and so it's not. It's a ceiling at this point. And the way you can tell something's face. First of all, you're not going to see it if you're above it here in the editor, in the 3D window. But if you see this little tick mark here, you can see that it's pointing down. So we can tell that it's pointing down, which is not what we want. We're trying to make a floor, and this is not correct. So basically, we want to flip it, and the way we flip it is we go to Edit. Where is it? Flip Faces, and you can use the I key, which is what I use all the time. And that makes it press fast. So there we go. We now have our floor. It's now facing the correct way. Okay. So let's see here. Now we need a wall. So we're going to let's go into one of the sides. Let's go in the front. And then let's see here. So this is facing south. So we want to put this on the north. So it becomes our north wall. Okay, we have that there. And then let's make a side wall. Let's do that. Okay, this is, you can see it's facing east, so we want to make that our west wall. Now this can get a little tedious, so I'm going to show you guys a shortcut, and it is glorious and makes things very fast. You're probably all familiar with it. It's called CopyPaste. Okay, so basically to copy, it kind of works like any other program. You do Control C or you go up to the menu. So I've copied it, and now I'm going to keep my cursor here in the top view, and then I'm going to do Control V to paste. And then once you do that, it's kind of like attached to your cursor. Like I'm not holding down anything to drag this around, but I'm going to put this. Let's put this here, and then I'm going to left click, and then it just kind of clicks in. It's just like I have regular selected faces. Let's hear. So I see that this wall is facing the wrong way, so I'm going to hit I to flip it. And then I can see that this wall is in the wrong place, so I'm going to... Let's do that. I clicked out here to just clear our current selection. And then I'm going to click this to select it. And then we want this to be our south wall because it's pointing north. So then we're just going to drag this over here. And poof. We have a little room here, except we're missing a ceiling. So I'm going to click that, do copy paste, and then this is actually a floor, so I'm going to flip it, and poof! Look at that. We have a room. We have a nice little room. Except these aren't really ceiling to floor texture. So I'm going to click these. So I'm going to click this one to select it, and I want to select another thing. So I'm going to hold Control and then click this. And as you can see, I now have two faces selected. So I'm going to put the cursor over one of these, right click, and then let's see here. Let's find a nice. Here's a nice generic floor and ceiling texture. I think it's the default, so it should be like this for everyone. Cool. All right. Well, we have a room. And so I mean, this should give you and by the way, real quick. The way I'm manipulating the camera here is what I'm doing is I'm putting the cursor in the 3D view window, and then I'm hitting enter. And as you can see, my cursor disappeared. It's been grabbed, and basically now I can move the mouse around. I can use my controls to move the camera around. I think the defaults are WASD. I of course had to change them because I'm very weird. I like inverted mouse and all that stuff. And then once you're all done there, you hit escape, and that gets you out of here. It's one of the things. One of the big things that yeah, it's kind of like a big thing about Rack. A lot of times when you want to select something, you want to do it in the 3D window, and the reason for that is, let's say I want to select a floor here. I can't because it's highlighting the first thing that's within the that the cursor is within the bounds of, and I happen to make the ceiling first or last or however it works. But basically, there's not much I can do to select the floor here. I could hide this and then poof, I can do that, but that's kind of annoying. So I mean, what you want to do is if I want to select the floor, I want to come over here and select this, and then come over here and start moving it around or doing whatever. And that just doesn't go for moving it around. It also goes for like vertex manipulation. It's like you want to click this here, then that makes the vertices visible here, and then I can manipulate them. Same for like line mode. If I want to edit this wall, I want to select it here in this window, and then come over here and start doing stuff. So that's kind of that's one of the crucial things about Racked and how it works. So let's see here. Next, now I kind of showed you guys the the long, tedious way to make this room. We individually created a floor, a ceiling, a wall, all that fun stuff. But there's a much faster way to make a basic room. It's by making what's called a prism. A prism is basically when you have two polygonal shapes that are it's like they're on the same vertical plane, and then there's little. It's hard to explain without a diagram, but I'll just show you guys. So basically, to create one of those, we're going to go into create prisms, and you can just hit the P key to do that. And then I'm going to create a floor here, and I'm going to do it counterclockwise because when you do it that way and then pull this up, it ends up creating a room. If I made it, if I made this clockwise and then pulled it up, I'd end up making a box, which you can insert into a room or something. But basically, you kind of outline the shape you want of the room, and then you come down here and it's like you drag the top of it, and then that gives the prism height. So let's say I want my room to be let's say 256 units tall. So I drag it up like that, and once I'm all done, I hit enter. Poof. And as you can see, I've pretty much effortlessly created a room. It was much easier than doing everything we did to create that room. So that's and as I said before, like a prism is automatically grouped when you create one. So basically, if I want to just move this whole thing at a time, or right click and edit its properties, I can do that. Also, one of the nifty things about prisms is if I want to like create a hallway or some kind of section coming off of a room. Like let's say I want to put a hallway right here. This is pretty neat. I like this. Enter. As you can see, it automatically punched a hole in this bigger room here. So that's instead of me having to split this one wall into 3 separate faces and then manipulating them all to get this to work, it just automatically did that for me, which is pretty nice. So if I want to create like another another little room right here, let's make this one octagonal shaped. Poof. See, so now I've got this little thing right here. Like I find that to be super useful. Like a lot of times, what I do is like I make a map on paper. So if I want to just like get the layout into the editor, into the game, it's really easy for me to just go into Prism mode and just kind of string the whole thing together like this, and then eventually I go back to it. I use face mode to really fine tune everything and make it look nice. I hope I try to make things look nice. but it's a great tool for getting rooms in there quickly. You don't necessarily have a ton of precision, but it's not really for that. It's for making things basically. Oh, and just to kind of show what I meant about doing something clockwise to make a box. Here, let's go into prism mode again. Let's say I want to put like a little crate here in this corner. I'm going to. Oops. I'm going to do Control Z there to undo. So I'm making this in a clockwise shape, and then I'm going to drag that up like that. There. Now, as you can see, because I made that clockwise, this ended up making a crate. Let's see. Do we have any crate textures? I don't know. Let's see here. Anything here look like a crate? That kind of looks like a crate. That's too big though, so I'm going to reduce the scale on it. There we go. Poof. We have a little crate. Okay. So I mean, this is kind of how you as you can see, it's a lot of right clicking to get things started to make a prism or face, and everything is basically created with right click. Let's move to items real quick. I'm going to right click here to create an item. The default item happens to be a player start, which is perfect. It's exactly what we want. So I'm creating an item with right click, and now let's set up the properties a little bit. We want it to face down this hallway, so we're going to change the initial view by 90 degrees. Like 0 points this way, 90 points this way, 180 points this way, and 270 points that way. So let's here. Let's put a couple little monsters in here real quick. Let's here. I'm going to right click because we don't want this to be a player start. We're going to mesh map object because the object we're putting down is going to have some kind of model. Let's go with a crawler because crawlers are awesome. Now, as you can see, this is facing the wrong way. It's facing this wall here. We want it to. Let's see here. Do we want it to face us right away? No, let's make it face away from us so we can ninja him at the very start of the level. Let's put a couple. Let's put 3 here. So I'm going to copy paste this. I'm going to do Control C, Control V, and I'm going to just drag the mouse over there and then left click to kind of snap it in. Then I'm going to Control V again to put that over there, and then left click to snap it in. And then let's see here. Finally, let's. Why don't we put a weapon here in this little room here? By the way, I'm manipulating this with the arrow keys. In case you were wondering, you can tweak the grid with the bracket keys. And then what's the other thing? Oh, and you can change the zoom with the mouse wheel. So okay, let's put we're gonna copy paste right here just to get our location for our new item. And let's put a shotgun there. Everyone loves shotguns. And it's the weapons are weird as far as their angles go. It's like you wanna. We don't want them to it's like you always want to add 90 degrees to them to get them to face the way you want. Because I don't know. I mean, it could we could make it face this way, but that I don't know that looks a little stupid. It's like when you walk up to it, you're looking at the gun's butt, and we don't want to see that. So I'm gonna make this 180. Okay, I think this is pretty good for our first little basic room here, or basic little level. So all right, let's give this a play as we look at our nice little splash screen, which may or may not be different each day. All right, here we are. Here's our crate. Here's our little room. Here's some crawlers. These things are going to come after me after I splash them. Oh no! Yes, I have a gun. Alright. So this is our first little level. Pretty sweet, huh? Alright. Well, let's exit out of here. And awesome. Well, hopefully now you have some kind of you have a basic understanding of kind of how Racked works, and how to create basic things, edit their properties, and just get a little level going. Nothing too fancy yet, but hopefully after the next few tutorials you'll kind of have the hang of things. All right, well, hope to see some maps from you guys, and we'll see you next time. Take care.